Hello, my name is Christopher Yule, and I am very excited to show you today the artificial intelligence trading platform that we call FinClub. And whenever you figure out how to use it, it's going to completely change the way you trade. And I am so excited to be a part of the team and to be able to share this with you and show you a demo on how to use the platform from top to bottom. And by the time you get done with this demo, you're going to know exactly how to use it inside and out and every other which way. So let's jump right into the demo here, and we're going to start right at the top. So the first thing at the top here is called the market trajectory. Now there are four possible outcomes on the market trajectory. Basically there's red, yellow, orange, and green. Green being essentially the green light. Hey, today is a day where if you're going to buy stocks, there is strong upward momentum, and it may accelerate the target prices that are shown down lower here in the daily list section. Now, there will be days where it's red, and red essentially means, hey, if you are long stocks, now might be a great time to get out. Or if you are looking to short stocks, now's the opportunity to do that. So that is the number one indicator in the whole entire FinClub platform. The number one thing that I start looking at every single day is the FinClub market trajectory. So next, as we move down the page here, you're going to see the macro momentum indicator as well as the sector momentum indicators. Now, these are super useful. They give you an idea of where things are going, right? We talked about the market trajectory before, and this is for today. But what about over the next few days, over the next week or so? Well, if you look at these momentum indicators, they give you an idea of where the market is going. And I like to use it for, number one, the macro momentum. If the market is strong, most stocks in general will rise with it, right? The market, how did they say that? The tide lifts all ships. So it's like saying that the rising tide lifts all ships. If the market is strong, you can have a better sense that the individual stocks will be looking strong as well. But then, to compound things, we want to go and look at the individual sectors. So let's say, for example, you are interested in trading Netflix. Netflix is in the communication services sector. And if you look at it, it's not super strong. And this is just for today, of course. But this, you've got a neutral momentum here for the macro stocks. We've got a neutral momentum here for communication services. Now may not be a great time to go long Netflix. If this was a strong macro momentum and then a strong communication momentum, that might be a better time to go long something in the communication services. And there's one more aspect of this that I want to share with you, and that's on the momentum section over here. So it takes the same data, but then it gives you a chart as to how they have been performing. And when I was talking to the founders of FinClub, I was like, okay, how do I use this? If this is pegged at nearly 100, right? Let's say, for example, this particular section here was pegged at high 80s for a long time. What does that mean to me? Does that mean that I could just go and buy anything and it's strong? Not necessarily. Here in this case, what you're looking for is it moving. Right? If it's not moving here, if it's staying high at mid 80s, then the market is strong, but it doesn't have a lot of momentum behind it. Conversely, if you look here, you see that it was at 73 and then started falling and then fell very quickly. That to you should signal, hey, the market is weakening, and it's weakening with force. And then the reverse happened, right? It started to strengthen. It went from a low of 29, and then it went up back up to a high of 76. And here's where a great opportunity may be. You've got the momentum rising, and you've got a lot of room to grow. If the momentum was rising, let's look here. If the momentum is rising and then it peaks, that means that there isn't a lot of room left for the momentum to continue on. It may be strong, but it doesn't have the power behind it that it did when it was moving from down here to up here. So we're looking at the macro momentum indicator here. And if you want to get a closer look at where things are today, you can take this bar and kind of just pull it over, and it'll give you a better sense of where we are today going forward, right? So today, it looks like things have been pretty flat for a while and starting to rise. So to me, while it hasn't grown significantly, right? It hasn't gone from 39 up to 40 or 70 or anything like that. We could potentially see some upward movement starting to happen. And when this does start to grow very fast, very tall, very fast, then that might be an opportunity for you to get long. Now, let's go look at the communication services. We talked a minute ago about how Netflix is in the communication services. So let's look here. And a similar story as to the macro momentum. And we're going to zoom in to a more recent time. And you can see it was strong, and then the momentum fell out of it, and then it got weaker, but then it started to increase, and this is the strength that it had, and then it kind of fell out again. Now, this is not for today per se, but it is for the coming future, right? This may trip down long before the price of the stock does. Conversely, it may trip up before the price of the stock does. But this is giving you an indicator of, hey, FinClub's artificial intelligence has identified an opportunity that the stock price may be about to go up with a lot of force and a lot of momentum. All right, so now let's talk about the daily list that FinClub provides. They're going to give you the best artificially intelligent stock picks out there, and they're going to give you the probability of them hitting their targets every day. So coming down this list, it can be really, really long on certain days. Some days it may just be a couple. Some days it may be nothing when everything fails. But other days like today, we're going to have a lot to choose from. So let's just start on the left and go to the right here. We'll talk about each particular thing. So rank, this is literally their number 1 pick. This is literally their number 14 pick. So starting at the top, that's your highest odds of hitting the probability, high probability targets there. So the first one is WERN, W-E-R-N. And Workbench, we're going to talk about the Workbench more in another section. But let's say you wanted to buy WERN, you would just hit add to that Workbench. So WERN has a 70% probability of hitting its high probability target of 45.14. And it passed at the open, meaning that whenever the stocks were going through their screening before the market opened, it said, yeah, WERN looks awesome. Now, stocks like this, stocks that are on this list, have the display probability of reaching their target prices in the average of the next 5 market days. So while WERN did not hit its target today, we still have 4 more days for it to get to that point. So our max buy price at open. So if it is above 44.92, if it's above this max buy price, then it's gone too far. The opportunity really isn't there anymore. But if it's below this point and has not hit the high probability target, then you've got 5 market days where it gives you a 70% probability of reaching that point. Now, there's a possibility that it could go beyond the high probability target and hit the resistance point. This is the point where FinClub told me that if you're looking at WERN, W-E-R-N, and it's already crossed this high probability target, yet it's continuing to go up, more than likely, there's no longer going to be any buyers at this point. So if you haven't taken profits at this point, you certainly need to be taking profits before it reaches here. Now, this is the average volume on this particular stock, which could be really useful. Some people like low float stocks that don't have a lot of things that are traded. But then there's other people who trade options, and options are really on the most liquid names. So this gives you an opportunity to see what kind of trading setup you may want to put on whenever you're looking to put these trades on. It shows you the sector and then also the allocation. So let's say that you wanted to have 3 different stocks. I'm going to use 3 different stocks here for my example. That's AEM, NEM, and WOR, which is down here a little bit further, and we'll talk about WOR in a minute. So this shows you if you were to build a sample portfolio for today, these 3 stocks would have the allocation of 32%, 19%, and 47%. That would be the ideal allocation if you were to put these on in your own portfolio. Now, let's look at NEM for a moment, right? So we're going to add that. Let's say we bought NEM this morning. The max buy price was before 63.96 with the target of 64.28. So I'm going to go to a chart real quick and show you exactly what NEM did. So here is NEM. It started the day at 63.55, which is within our max buy price at open at 63.96. After that point, it went up with a high of 64.23. That was the high of the day. Now that is so close to that probability target. I, as a trader, would have taken my profits there if I started to see it fall down. And you can see yesterday it was trading in the 62 handle from 61 up to 62.57. Then today it opened at 63.50 something, went up to 64.25, and then came back down. That's the opportunities that FinClub's going to present to you. It's going to show you, hey, if you aren't in it in the first few minutes of the day, you might miss out. But if you can get in before it reaches 63.96, you should still be okay to see it go up to that point and then back down. Now, it is below 63.96 today at the time that I'm recording this, but it's already hit close to our target price, so the movement is already over. Now, let's look at another example. Let's look at, in fact, let's go to WERN, W-E-R-N. So if we go to WERN, W-E-R-N, you can see that it also got really close to our target of 45.14 and then came back down. And like I said, that's the power of FinClub.AI. Sometimes it'll blow straight through this and carry on to its resistance point. Other times, they are really close to getting you that exact target price, and that's what you need to look for. If it's getting really close and then comes back down, that may be the time that you want to exit and take your profits. Let's look at another example. Let's look at AEM. Okay, so AEM, we're going to add that to our workbench. And it had a max buy price at open at 65.67 with a target of 66. Now, it opened at 65.70. So right at that point, it's just about where it says your max buy price is at, but it did go below there. And then it did go above the target of 66 and was above and below all day and even ended really close to that target of 66. So this would be absolutely hitting their target. And yesterday you're looking at $64 and then all of a sudden it jumps up to 66. You could have done well if you had been able to get in below the max buy price at open and then hit that high probability target that they're showing. Now, I want to go down and, the story is repeated for all of these, right? You've got a high probability target. They are ranked in order of FinClub's best picks. And then you've got 5 days to hit those target prices. So you've got some that are highlighted red, and these are exclusive to the premium section. But what it does do is something pretty interesting. So we're going to go down to WOR as a case study here. So we're going to add that to our workbench. And it passed this morning, but it is showing this red color, right? Now it says the max buy price at open is at 34.29 with a high probability target of 34.55. So let's go see what happened with WOR today. As you may have noticed with the other stocks, they were all in somewhat of a upward trend momentum there. And with these red highlighted stocks, it's actually somewhat different. These are the retracement type opportunities for you. And you can see that, hey, WOR has been falling for the last several days. And then all of a sudden, it caught a bottom and jumped right back up. And if you've been able to enter anywhere below the max buy price at open of 34.29, which is all the way up here even, if you've been able to enter before that, you would have been able to take advantage of this going up to 34.55. And as you can see, it's more of the reversal type setups here whenever they're in the red shaded versus the white shaded. So those are a few of the case studies that I wanted to show you on the daily list. Now, not everything has hit its target prices for today, and FinClub doesn't expect it to. It does expect to hit it within the average of the next 5 market days. So let's jump into the workbench, and you'll see exactly why I added these to workbench as we went through. Okay, so taking a look at this list, I went and I checked, and the only one of the top 10 or so that didn't hit its high probability target today was AMAT. So for example's sake, I'm going to add this to our workbench just to show you exactly how it works. So I've added it to our workbench. Now let's go to the workbench section. You'll see why we did that. Now, after it's already hit its high probability target, it will say already completed. And FinClub will actually send you an alert whenever it has an opportunity that says, hey, listen, your target has been hit or the stop loss has been hit. And that's so invaluable to have that information sent straight to you. So let's say that we did buy AMAT and the open price was $62.89, max buy price $63.74. Let's just say that we bought it at 63. So order fill price 63, and we bought 100 shares. Buy. So now our order fill price is at 63, and we have 100 shares on each, right? And it says it's now in monitoring. So FinClub will send us an alert whenever it hits our profit exit or stop loss. And you'd see actually in this particular case, this one does not have a stop loss shown because the stop losses are variable in this case. And it will alert you. It'll send you an alert straight to your email and says, hey, we feel that now is the right stop loss to take. Other times you'll see the profit exit and the stop loss filled in automatically. And it'll send you an email when it does say that. So let's say the stop loss was 62.50. It would show right here, and it would send you an alert when that happens. Now, you've had this in monitoring, and you decide, oh, you know what? I have actually been able to take off half of my trade for profits. So I'm going to add this to my log that I'm going to sell, enter sell price, let's say 63.50. And I sold 50 out. Hit sell. Refresh the page, and you can see that we now have 50 out of 100 left. Now we're going to go over to the trade log, and we're going to see exactly what's going on with AMAT. So we bought it at 63, and this is also something where it keeps track of every single entry you put. So you can see I've put a few in these testing it out, and right now, let's say I bought 100 shares at 63. So it cost me $6,300 to do that. Now I closed 50 of them at $63.50, and you can see my P&L was $25. And I've been able to get back $3,175 of the original $6,300 that I used to buy that. So now I have a trade log of everything that I've done. And the great part about it is FinClub will be monitoring this for me, so I don't have to do anything. They'll send me an email. As long as you get your email alerts, you'll see, hey, look, it hit my target price. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take this off now for a profit. So we've covered the market trajectory. We've covered the macro and sector momentums. We've covered the allocation section. So then we've also covered the daily list and how we have lots of different stocks to choose from. We've got our probabilities. We're going to be adding them to our workbench. We know that they've passed the rigorous screening pre-market, or they've failed the rigorous screening pre-market. We don't even want to look at them. What we want to see now is just how FinClub has done in the past, right? It's all well and good to show you examples here on the screen, but how's it done in the past? Well, all you have to do is go over to the historical section, and it'll show you day after day every single particular stock that they've chosen and how it worked, and days where they did not choose any stocks. So let's go, for example, back to March 2020. March 2020 didn't have a lot going on, but the one day here, it did show the stock prices, several of them, it went to 100% accuracy. Now, also, you'll notice that why was there so many days with no stock? I got to tell you, that's actually one of the better features of FinClub, because while it's great to make money, it's also even better to not lose money. And there will be days where the daily list shows nothing. And when it shows nothing, that's a day where you just, close your laptop and head out to do anything else, because there are no high probability stocks for that day. So going back here into March and just clicking on any day in particular, let's click on the 19th. There's no stocks shown, and it says, hey, listen, it was a red day, strong downward momentum, entry not advised. That was the market trajectory of that day, and there are no stocks. But we can go back and say the day after that, on the 20th, it actually was green market trajectory, and only one stock was a pass for them on that day. And it hit its high probability target with 100% accuracy. So you can go through this calendar and see, there's plenty of days where there are no stocks, and then there's plenty of days where we've got 100% accuracy, 99, etc. And you can go all the way back to today, and let's say you've missed a trade this week, right? Let's say you weren't able to log in on Monday. Or on Tuesday even. Tuesday might be a better example here. While these stocks have 5 days to hit their targets, you could go into Tuesday and see, oh, there was only one that passed on that day, but it had a red market trajectory. And because of that, I may not want to get into this trade. However, if we go back here and we say Wednesday the 1st, and it's still got another day or two left on this, oh, look at all these. And if they have not already hit their accuracy, maybe this is a trade you might want to get in, because it did have a green market trajectory. These have all passed, and a lot of these have already hit their target, so maybe you'd want to look at JBSS. It just gives you an opportunity, if you do miss a day, to go in and try and, catch up on what you may have missed. Oh, look at this, GWW, TYL. Both of these may be an opportunity that I'd like to go and trade. So the final section on FinClub is the My Account section. So when we go into the My Account section, if you have a coupon code, go ahead and enter it right there. Otherwise, you can see exactly what subscription you have and show you the differences between the two. The Essential comes with daily low-risk stock picks, and then the Premium comes with the daily low-risk stock picks, as well as advanced daily lists with higher profit targets. But both of the account types come with the Trader's Workbench, the allocation tool, the sector and macro market indicators, as well as the complete historical access. So you can keep track of how the stocks are doing that FinClub picks. Even if you decide not to trade along with them, you can see how well their stock picks are. So there you go. That's everything you're going to want to know about how to use FinClub from top to bottom, from the market trajectory indicator to the macro and sector momentums to the allocation tool, and all the stock list picks each day, as well as how to use them within the workbench. So now you know how to use all the tools inside the FinClub platform. Now it's up to you. Trade with confidence, trade with FinClub. Thank you so much for watching this demo.